Hey everyone, welcome to our Facebook Live. We're talking about the power of a side hustle. And I'm so excited. I'm Chief Marketing Officer of Nerium International, Amber Olson Rourke, and I have the pleasure to be joined today by Susie Moore. Now, Susie was a super successful executive in corporate America, and she was, had great success, but really felt like there was something else out there for her, and that's where she discovered side hustle, this whole gig economy of these other options that are out there. And so she spent the last part of her life recently mentoring people on how they should have a side hustle business. She's even written a book, What If It Does Work Out, right? Because we're always thinking, what if it doesn't work out? But she challenging us to think, what if it does work out? How a side hustle can change your life. So easy to see that she is an expert at this topic. She's been featured on the Today Show, Forbes, Business Insider, Marie Claire, you name it. They're asking her what she thinks of this whole side hustle economy. So welcome, Susie. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you, Amber. I'm so excited to be here with you right now.
It's so much fun kind of talking about this topic because I know that we're seeing this more and more, right? On the news, we see people that from the Ubers to Etsy shops, people really taking a hard look at their income and how they're structuring their lives and kind of breaking this paradigm of it doesn't have to be a 9-to-5 job. It doesn't have to look like a traditional career, but really structuring your life how you want it. So, you've talked to thousands of people who have done this. They've taken the plunge and you've coached them on how to do that. So what are you really seeing for the growth of this whole, side gig, economy, side hustle space?
Such a good question. If you look at the data, almost 1 in 3 Americans now has an income independent of their paycheck, which is crazy, right? I mean, that's a whole lot of people making money outside of a 9-to-5 job. And I think that that's happening for a few reasons. The first is a lot of us aren't crazy in love with our jobs. The data says that, only 80% of Americans are engaged, 80% of Americans aren't engaged at work, meaning only 13% of us love our work. The second is, of course, we don't feel as if our jobs are safe. There is no such thing as job security anymore. And we don't want to rely on one paycheck, one income to support us and our families. And also we want to be more fulfilled. We want some ownership, freedom, options, creativity, and a side hustle really fulfills all of those things. Having a side hustle is just like a win, 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 win. Any way you look at it, you make more money, you have control over your schedule, you get to even take your life back in a way.
Yeah.
So depending how you look at it and what you do. So side hustles are absolutely not even the future, they're the now.
Yes, I love that. And I think a big part of it is that control and not being just at the whim of other people making decisions about your life. And I know when we chatted recently, you said friends don't let other friends not have a side hustle, which I love because it's so true. So for you, what do you think is, the main reasons why people literally can't not have a side hustle if they want to be smart about their lives and in control of their lives?
Yes, having a side hustle, I think increasingly is essential. I really don't think it's an optional idea, an optional kind of, nice thing to consider one day. If you want to take care of your financial freedom, your family's security, having another source of revenue in your life is imperative. It's absolutely, it's a responsible thing to do. So financially, it's very, very important. Also, there's so much more to life typically than the 1 or 2 things that you might be doing at work or if you're at home. Specifically, when you allow a side hustle into your life, you use skills that maybe you've forgotten that you had. You allow yourself to engage with other people. You often will join a new community and make new friends. There are unlimited benefits, advantages, and opportunities that once you hustle up, you really start to take advantage of and see. And once you see that unfold in your life, you can't help but get obsessed with having a side hustle and wanting your friends, wanting them to join in on the action too and reap all of the rewards too.
Yeah, totally. So besides what about just from a financial perspective and why do you recommend that people have multiple streams of income and not just that one AOB?
Yes, no, absolutely. So when you have a job and you have one paycheck and that's it, really one person can ruin your life, right? Your boss. right? But
Yeah.
simply one person has complete control over you, your family, your sense of security. And when you have a side hustle, you completely, you diversify the power. You take a whole lot of power back into your life. And you come from this place of being able to create and being able to have this lack of a glass ceiling. I mean, in your side hustle, no one's telling you how much you can earn, how well you can do, how far you can go. It's really up to you. You're limitless in this area. And number one, that has great financial rewards, but also it brings you a whole lot of confidence. I mean, when you know that your life is completely, open and you have other options and there are other things that you can do, ironically, I've even seen people get better at their jobs, right? Because they don't feel the pressure and they become a better mom, a better friend, a better wife. I mean, I've seen people who start side hustling, they start loving it, and they always get compliments saying, gosh, you even look better. You seem happier. Like, what's going on? And it's this side hustle. I mean, it's not a secret. Increasingly, with everybody kind of jumping on this bandwagon, it's really up to us to not only support each other, but encourage each other to go for it and not to feel so afraid.
Totally. I love that. And I think one of the things that you mentioned before is you can't afford not to do a side hustle if you really want to be in control and you really want to, just set yourself up for future growth and future, career diversification.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I would go so far as to say it's irresponsible not to be side hustling. Like, truly, more and more going into 2018, the market the way it is, the economy the way it is, like having a side hustle, hedging, being able to know that you have, there are multiple kind of streams of money coming into your life. It makes you feel supported. It makes you feel safe. And that only bodes well for your life in all areas,
Definitely. So, we talk about monetary benefits because that's what people think of when they're going to take something on,
Yep.
they're going to start their own business. So, but I think there's a ton of great fringe benefits that come along with doing this. And so, if you could quickly share, you've seen so many people take on a side hustle, and what are those side benefits that you kind of experience by doing that?
Oh my gosh, there are so many. In fact, I've even joked that even if a side hustle didn't make you money, it's worth having because there are so many other wonderful side effects that come to you. The first is you tap into your confidence, right? Because often we forget how powerful, how creative, how able we are. And a side hustle will harness sort of skills that we have that we activate, and it gives you a major boost. You go, gosh, I can do this whole other thing. And I didn't even necessarily realize it or remember that I could do these things. Also, you tend to create a whole new community for yourself. Whatever your side hustle is, you meet other side hustlers like you, and it really opens up who you know, what you know. It adds a whole rich element. Yes, there's a whole rich element to your life that shows up, and it gives this whole other level of color to your life. Also, you tap into kind of skills and talents that might just be dormant, right? They've been dormant for a few years, and you allow yourself to just feel. Yes, and you allow yourself to be stretched. You start to feel alive. I mean, it's truly amazing when you see people who've wanted to side hustle for a while but haven't known where to start, or they've had an idea but they haven't taken action. Versus, a few months, a year later, you could see a different person. You see someone who's awake, who's connected, who's making money. Hey, that's a big goal for all of us. Who has a sense of freedom, who knows new people, who's doing new things. It's such a wonderful place of power to be living from.
Definitely. And so a lot of times what I see is people, they know, they feel the stress of their job. They want to have different options. They want to kind of build into something where they can have more freedom, but they think, you know what, I don't have the time. I have so much going on. I'm already, a busy mom, a busy executive. And but the truth is we all have time, but how do you make that time? What are some of your quick, top little tips to make the time if you're looking, today to make that move?
Yes, that's a great question, because time is typically the biggest excuse, right? Because we're all busy. No one has time to start something new or to bring on something new into their lives. But the truth is, like you said, we all have 24 hours in a day, right? And I know plenty of very successful side hustlers who are single moms who are working too, and they have their side hustle going. And hey, we salute them. We salute them.
Yes.
And it's so, there are a couple of things that you can integrate really quickly that I love to teach, because I know that they impact you with your side hustle and in your life in general.
Right.
The first is being able to say no.
Yes.
So much of our life is taken up with projects, with invitations, with obligations that we could turn down if we kind of, again, step into that power, become more assertive, and know that we don't have to please. Of course, we want to be liked, we want to be kind, we want to be nice. But when you start to say no, not only do you have so many hours back in your week, but people also start to respect you more. right? Because your time becomes more precious. And if you explain, I'm working on my side hustle, everyone's curious. They start to kind of want to do it too. They're like, what is she doing? Or like, what is that person doing with their time? And so saying no is an immediate way that you get hours back every day, every week. The second is to batch. So task switching constantly uses up to 40% of our productive time. So when we batch similar productivity, like products together or activities together, then naturally we're in the zone for the type of work that we're doing. And we're not kind of going from cooking to working on a website to driving. We're focusing on one thing at once, which allows us to get a whole lot more done in less time. And the third thing is being able to use your golden hours, because in our day, we all have kind of those 3 to 4 real golden hours where we do our best work. We're our most productive, our most awake, our brains switched on. Some people are night owls. Most people tend to be better in the mornings. But when you batch in your productive hours, it's the equivalent of working 8 hours with 2 hours. You can get a whole lot more done when you're really intentional about your time and your schedule.
You know, we have so many people who are working their Nerium business in just 1 hour increments, but they're, you know, during that 1 hour, they're all out with their activity and they're able to make that progress by just being, you know, it's surprising how much you can do when you're really intentional with your time. So I love those tips, and don't feel bad for saying no, because I always say when you say no, you're allowing yourself to say yes to your bigger yeses. And so there's things in life that you really want that you can't really say yes to because you're saying yes to all these things that actually don't mean a lot to you.
Exactly. No, I absolutely agree with you, Amber. Absolutely, yeah. You're saying yes to something more important. And I mean, what's more important than your own sense of security and creativity and freedom?
Yes. So you kind of analyze all of the different side hustle opportunities, whether it's opening an Etsy shop or doing freelance, gigs to the direct sales space. And so as you kind of looked at all these different options, what have you seen? And, direct sales is a really big global player in the side hustle space as more and more people joining every year in this space. What have you seen in terms of what does the direct sales space have that maybe some of those other side gig options, side hustle options don't have?
The direct sales space makes it very easy to begin, right? So sometimes if we think we need to start a side hustle, we think, gosh, we have to go from 0 to 1. We have to create something out of nothing. We have to do all the groundwork, all the foundational stuff first, set up an LLC, like whatever it may be, versus being able to have this like businesses in a box, right? This kind of expression of having the framework, having the structure, having everything provided to you that you can just kind of dive in, like swoop in, take advantage of a really excellent system, and then just bring your expertise and what it is that you know that you can like add to the role, which you already have within you, right? Because you just bring the passion because the structure already exists. I mean, that's a surefire, a very quick, easy way to get going. And I think when it comes to direct sales, when you have a great setup like Nerium's, is you can be amazed at the results that you can generate quickly.
Right.
It's not a whole slog. It's not a whole planning process, creating a full business plan and, re-ideating from scratch. It's entering right in where you are with what you have and letting the success unfold from there.
I kind of call it direct sales space like a micro franchise where it's like a bigger investment. But the great thing about a franchise is they've done it before. They know what it takes to be successful. They're going to kind of give you a plan. Direct sales is kind of your own little personal mini franchise, but it's really totally under your control with not as much of a commitment financially to get started.
Fantastic. And that's sometimes the other obstacle, right? We think that we need to invest a whole lot of money up front, right? And we need to create a whole system when that actually already exists, and we can just take advantage of something that's already working for lots of people. It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah. So, you've come to our corporate home office and got to take a little look under the hood of who Nerium is, how our specific business model works. So I just, wanted to ask you, what is, someone's looking at Nerium possibly as a side hustle opportunity. What are the things that stood out to you about Nerium that makes it such a great side hustle?
So Nerium is fantastic in the way that you really care about your people. You really, really care about your people. Everyone's taken care of as part of your community, and you've really set your people up for success. Because, your team success is your success. And that's a wonderful mantra. That's a wonderful mission to always be growing based on community and doing great work. And also, when you think about it, Nerium, this space, I mean, every woman Emma, is buying products like this anyway, right? We're all spending money on gorgeous lotions, things that make us look good, feel good. And if you can provide that type of value to people in your life, your family, your friends, people in your network, then you're actually doing them a favor, right? You're actually working with people or providing them with something that works in a way that's easy for them to access with money that they're already spending. So you're providing something high value in a really easy way. And you're part of a great community network of people who are already succeeding at it. So you have a whole lot of mentorship. You have a whole lot of sense of camaraderie, which is very, very nice, especially when you're working remotely. And also one thing personally that I like, because I had a big sister when I was younger. So when I was under the age of 10, I love the Big Sister, Big Brother Foundation that you donate so heavily to. That is very, very, I think that's very, very important and special. And I love how you're such a big part of that community too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, what would you just say to someone who's thinking about, in the month of December now, getting ready to, a lot of people have extra bills from the holidays.
Oh, yes.
Going into 2018, if they're looking to get started with something like Miriam, why is now a great time?
So now is always the best time. There's an old proverb that I like. It's a Chinese proverb, and it says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today, right? So if there's something that you want to do, if you want to have more money, if you want to have this sense of passive income over time, start now. I mean, no one wants to enter a new year in debt, or short on cash, or uncertain about, the first quarter of the year, or unsure of really the next 12 months and not feeling confident financially. This is something that there's no time to waste, right? There's no time to waste. Often the reason we delay getting started is because we feel a bit afraid, because we're not quite certain. And the truth is, only action cures fear. Only getting started. Yeah, only action cures fear, nothing else. So if you have an inkling this is right for you, it's right for you. Right, it's right for you. And the way that you'll know that is by getting started. Getting started is the only way to really make anything happen, to make any positive change happen, to drive any positive change in your life. So now is all we have. And why are you waiting to make money? Why are you waiting to make money and get all those awesome other benefits that are just waiting for you once you take a leap?
I love that. Awesome, Susie. Well, thank you so much for being here today and sharing that wisdom. Susie's book is out, and she is a phenomenal powerhouse around the topic of side hustle. Loved hearing from her unique perspective of why Miriam and why now. So thank you so much, Susie.
Thank you, Amber. This was fantastic. Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Bye-bye.